So it is Miss Chronic Chronicles, and I am actually doing this video pretty fast for you guys, but there's a lot to talk about. So, it probably is going to be a very long video, and potentially the last video I make for a couple of weeks, because I have been diagnosed with preeclampsia, hypertension, and definitely it's been quite a journey since the last time that I vlogged. So, you'll have to bear with the out of breath, the contractions, yes, and there's a lot that I want to cover in this video. So like I said, I'm just going to kind of throw it all out there. If you have been a regular subscriber for a long time, thank you for joining me in this video, and do stay tuned because there's going to be a lot to share. First and foremost, I do want to update you guys that I have been in and out of the hospital. Not just overnight, one time overnight, but due to my liver functions were elevated and a whole bunch of other stuff, which I'll just try to go into detail as much as I possibly can in the most clearest way possible, being I am so tired, but I have to make this video. So before we even get into the craziness, I want to go ahead and show you my bump, because it's huge. And so I'm going to pause the video and make myself available to show you the bump, and then I will go from there. So stay tuned, hold on a second. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how big he's gotten. He's huge. 35 weeks. It's the front view. I know the shirt's cute. Side view. And yes, he has dropped, and I am 1 centimeter currently. And here's the belly. I feel massive. No stretch marks yet, which is amazing. Totally amazing. Yep, no stretch marks at all. The little white ones are from when I was chubby in high school. Now my belly button doesn't look that great, but it's still pierced, so hopefully it'll go back to normal. Well, that was annoying. I was starting to vlog and it just got cut off. So anyway, I do want to introduce Sugar. Say hi. This is my cat that actually just showed up a couple of weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago. And he's a sweetheart. Aren't you? Aren't you a sweetheart? He has got to be under a year old, and he's a sweetie pie. I will never replace Oliver, but yeah, he's going to make himself known here and there, I'm sure. He's a lover for sure. He likes to snuggle. Anyway, let me continue this lovely vlog. Do you want to get down, buddy? No? Yes? No? Alright, hang on. So, looks like I'm going to have to hold this tablet for a little bit. That's just not good, so hang on. Alright, I think I got it hands-free. It's a little crooked, but that's okay. So, everybody, I have quite a bit to update you guys, and just want to go through the list as much as I possibly can in order, chronologically, that is. But I do want to share with you guys, initially, when I went into the hospital, starting actually in September, the 29th it was, I had an infection that was misdiagnosed and untreated for almost 7 weeks at that point. By the 9th week, that's a long time, they finally had me on the proper antibiotics, and now I am several months after the initial diagnosis, been still taking the antibiotic. So it does happen with pregnancy that, you can get unbalanced, and wasn't really anything that I could have prevented. It just happened to happen the way it did, and unfortunately was misdiagnosed over and over. So there's a lot of wasted energy and a lot of discomfort, let me say, as of bleeding, as of massive pain in a lot of different ways. With pregnancy, there is discharge in general, but this was like out of control and in a very bad situation. Lots of pain, causing contractions. I had a lot of dehydration, and all of that had to be determined after long periods of time dealing with the hospital over and over and over. As of the 23rd, I think it was. I think it was the 23rd. 23rd or 24th. Or maybe even later than that. It might have been like the 25th. I don't even know. Last couple days ago, I actually had been hospitalized overnight because I was having contractions that were a minute apart. So since basically September, I've been dealing with hospitals, and that's 4 times now I have been in the hospital. But obviously the 4th time was to actually keep me overnight because they were worried about the contractions. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, which is Rachel Raw Truth, you definitely have seen my updates because I'm trying to keep people updated. My personal Facebook page isn't public to everybody, but listed below you can find my Facebook for my Miss Chronic Chronicles, which I try to update the important stuff on there. I don't really waste much energy putting a lot of stuff up there, but once the baby does come, I definitely will keep everybody updated there on Facebook and on Twitter, which I am at Miss MsCC Tweets. So that's MsCC TWEETS, listed below, if you guys want to follow me there, because I kind of have been trying to be a little bit more on top of it with posting things. So if you want to keep updated once the baby does come and to what's going on in the meantime, it's probably the best place to go. Kiki keeps making herself known. Let me get her comfortable. Hold on. And again, I have returned. I expect this video to be very all over the place because, like I said, I'm just too damn tired. Whew, too damn tired. So, let's just get this out of the way. The baby daddy drama has been kind of put on the side burner, which is great in a lot of ways. We have communicated, so that's at least good. And we haven't talked on the phone yet. That will happen eventually, hopefully. If not, I did the best I could to communicate with this person. And he was very uncomfortable with the fact that he knows that I have been having a hard time with the fact that a lot of people have been coming at me in a lot of different ways about information, about his whereabouts and his opinion of this pregnancy, which I will just say right now, it doesn't matter what he thinks because I'm still the active parent and will continue to be the active parent. If he decides to be involved in the future, lovely, but I am 35 weeks and I really don't put much energy into it because I feel like this baby needs unconditional love and not a lot of all over the place. So, baby daddy drama is on the back burner. In regards to my infection, as I said, it did go away. Thankfully, the bleeding stopped because it was like hemorrhaging. It was a lot of blood. And it went on for weeks, which was scary. And so that wasn't fun. And so providing, you know, that I have been not feeling so well, really tired, on heavy antibiotics, doesn't help. I actually developed an itching in my hands and feet in the last 2 weeks, which they thought was my gallbladder because apparently when you're pregnant you can have problems with pains in all different ways, but haven't had any swelling, haven't had any major anything change, no like whatever, but this rash, which I was getting on my shoulders, my legs, on my arms, and then all of a sudden this unbelievable like almost like fire ants were biting me on my feet and hands, which were not cool. They put me on another medication so that they can kind of help orally, as they had first put me on hydrocortisone cream, and that didn't do shit. In fact, it actually made it a little bit worse. So I had been taking Benadryl for like 2 weeks. No relief. My insomnia has been out of control. Again, not really breathing that great. Exhaustion out of control. Pretty much this child has kept me up as late as 7:30 in the morning. Regularly, I don't get to bed till, it varies, but my doctors went ahead and did an MRI on my entire pelvic area, so like basically chest, under breast to pelvic, to check my hips, to check my spine, to see if there's any compression going on with my spine. I had a recent subscriber actually ask some questions about when I actually had my spinal fusion put in, which was at age 13. So yes, I was very young. and removed when I was approximately 25, 26 years old. So I think I was 25. So it was in for 11 years at that point, approximately, and a lot of pain since 2 years after it. So once they removed the spinal fusion, unfortunately they left hooks, and there's still some bone that has, like when they took the screws and cut them out and removed the hardware, the Harrington rods, which are double full length from the top of my spine to the bottom of my tailbone, has caused a lot of nerve damage. So I still have a curve too, which was corrected from a 97-degree curve at age 13 to a 47-degree curve. So I still have a curve. In future videos that I'll actually take some time to edit, I will slice some of those pictures in and probably discuss more in detail about that particular MRI. But it was like a 30-minute long process. Doesn't affect the baby because it's non-radioactive. But we got some weird freaking images from that MRI. So basically, the good news is that my spine is not being compressed from what they can see, but the bad news is my pelvic area is very small. So we're having a little bit of fears at this point between my doctor and I that we may have to be forced to put me into a C-section, or it might be a very painful, intense labor because of the fact that I don't have a lot of the same kind of bone structure as a normal woman would. I expected this when I first found out I was pregnant, that there would be some complications of some sort. It had to be. And it would be difficult in general, pain-wise. If you guys have been watching me for a while, you know that I've been detoxing and have been detoxed from cannabis for a while, which is scary for all kinds of reasons. Have good news, though, in regards to being detoxed, if I continue to stay detoxed, at least 6 months, and through my treatment, which I will be getting the cure for my liver. I know, applause. Approximately in May of 2016 is when the treatment would start. Unfortunately, my insurance company, and it's just the way it is today for this treatment, they've kind of like pushed people into a direction where if you want the HCV cure, then you have to go on 6 months of showing clean UAs, so that usually means that, in my situation, I will have no pain management and no help with my stomach after my baby is born, and so I'm going to continue to not be using cannabis, which is so hard, but it is what it is, and it's going to save my life and make me available for my son, so I will do whatever it takes. Now, with that being said, meeting with the liver doctor that I did out here, he was amazing, he's awesome, I'm very excited about working with him, but it also makes the whole process very stressful that he agrees in the use of cannabis, being that there's not a lot of treatments to help the gastroparesis, but he is under the suspicion that because I didn't have enough treatment that he thought, or even testing that he thought was necessary, that my other doctors didn't take heed to in California, that I basically have been pawned off enough that as soon as the baby is born, we're going to do a lot more tests, probably a new liver biopsy and a lower scope, just a lot more tests. So you guys will probably be following me on that journey if I decide to publish a lot of that stuff, which I probably will. But right now in my life, my focus has been getting through this pregnancy, and as I said, I am 35 weeks and 5 days as of 11/27/2015. So, yeah, it's been quite a journey for the last 3 years vlogging here and sharing all that. A lot of my videos have been taken down, meaning privatized for right now, for all intensive reasons that I will explain on a later date. But most of it is because of the baby daddy drama, and I just don't have energy to have to explain to trolls that come around. It happens. So, like I said, there's been a lot of changes and a lot of things put on hold in my life right now that I'm just going to be kind of working towards once my child has finally made his presence. I've been having a lot of pain vaginally only in the last 2 days, like a pinching pain, which When I went to the hospital and was admitted only a couple days ago, I actually was already 1 centimeter dilated that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. So I am sure that in the next few weeks I'll be either delivering or getting more and more dilated, because it is what it is when it comes to my body is not a normal body. So it's going to be a little bit harder in this pregnancy to be delivering this child like a normal person. C-section wise, the medications that will be offered for me having the liver problems that I do are much different than somebody who's just delivering a baby in normal situations. But with all that being said, it's pretty much gas is what they're looking at. From my MRI report, they did determine I do not have any locations in my spine because of how advanced my scoliosis was and because of the age I was when they actually did do the fusion, that unfortunately I have no access points, at least from my spine, to do the epidural. And I understand there was another subscriber. Thank you for your comments. I really appreciate it. I've been out of my mind tired. It's the only reason I haven't responded. But just to give you guys a clearer picture, the subscriber had said there's got to, nobody should be in pain. They should have some kind of a treatment of some sort to help you in the moment of delivery. Well, that's going to just be regular IV and probably gas if they do a C-section, and whatever other medications that my liver doctor and my OB are going to be working together with. So I'm kind of said everything I needed to say to my primary, to my OB, and to my liver doctor about what I want for my birth plan, but I also believe that I don't think it's going to go exactly the way I want to. I just keep saying, keep me alive, make sure my son's okay. So at this point, like I said, in November the 27th, that is, I am just preparing for this delivery. Being diagnosed with preeclampsia was not a good situation. That only happened a couple days ago, and that is what is determined that I'm probably not on bed rest, but having to be told to just keep my stress levels and my activities to a minimum. My heart rate was 160, from 129 to 160, and the baby's heart rate fluctuated from like 129 to 151. I think that was what it was. So that's not good either. We want to make sure both of us are good, and I've been drinking quite a bit of water these days because that's kind of the orders when it comes to keeping me hydrated in general. My gastroparesis causes dehydration, which my GI doctor I just met with, it was actually November the 5th that I met with him, and I think it was the 5th, maybe it was the 6th, I don't know, early month, let's put it that way. And again, as I said, he was really determined to say, this is a situation where you have been kind of pawned off with doctors, and I'm not that kind of doctor. I will do whatever I have to do to make sure we figure out what's wrong with you. So he ran some blood work immediately that same day to determine if I have celiac disease, which apparently I don't. Finally got the test results back, which is frustrating because being that I am constantly dealing with stomach problems on a normal situation, it's kind of become one of those situations where the doctors have pawned me off for so long that we don't even know what kind of damage is going on in my intestines, and he believes that that's pretty much what we're going to be dealing with, that maybe my stomach didn't show anything when they did the upper GI scope last year in 2014, but we need to do a full scope, lower intestinal too. And through this pregnancy, before we realized that I had an intestinal infection and a vaginal infection, unfortunately I was having bleeding and I was having diarrhea and everything else you have with pregnancy, but to an extent that I actually got incontinence, total incontinence, which was freaking not fun, and holy crap, literally. So that actually wasn't solved until approximately 9 weeks into that infection. Once I was put on the they were able to move forward, and I stopped. The incontinence has stopped, so that's awesome. It was really not fun. I live off of antacids these days. It's pretty much like 8 a day. And that's the max they tell me I can take. On November the 8th, I had my baby shower, which was awesome. Really quaint. And I will do a video later. I'm still waiting for some of the footage. Plus, I accidentally deleted like 2 or 3 of the parts of the video from my baby shower opening gifts, but unfortunately we did have some music playing in the background, so it probably needs to be highly edited now. But again, I'm put on kind of like a no over stress, no overactivity guidelines right now, being that only a couple days ago I was hospitalized, so I'm not going to be wasting a lot of time sitting down. This is probably the last video, like I said, I'll be doing for a while that I update you guys unless I really think it's necessary. It's just really what's best for me and my son. And right now it's not making videos or editing videos or sitting here too long kind of a situation. I just really want to make this last video if I end up going into labor. I have a feeling that he might come on the 28th, which would be tomorrow. Or I see and feel December the 4th. A lot of people have, you know, guessed I am due, actually, the 28th of December. But I'm telling you, I feel like this baby's going to be a Sagittarius, and I feel like, yeah, he's coming. He's coming. He's dramatic, let me just say. The kicking and the awareness that he has is just so incredible to me. I have been really trying to capture as much as I can for my son, or daughter, if it ends up being a girl. And actually tonight, before I started this whole vlog, I did do a pre-recorded message for all of you lovely subscribers that will basically be posted the day that I have him or am in labor. That way I can just post the video public, and then you guys will all know what's going on. So stay tuned for that video, and I'll probably be linking it with all future bump dates if I end up having him in a different time than this goes up, all that fun stuff. You never know, because tomorrow, like I said, I've been feeling for like weeks now that the 28th of November stood out, but I really didn't want him to be a Sagittarius, a Scorpio, and I really had felt like that was going to be. And when that cusp came, it was actually the 23rd, that I did go into the hospital, if I remember correctly. That's when it was like, oh geez, he's in that window. But it's a weird sensation, and I'll actually talk about that more in other videos. The baby's father and myself we're both Libras, so that's a lot right there, the energy in that. But anyway, that's not something I'm going to talk about too much in this video. My maternity clothes video, I actually recorded all of it and wanted to do like sort of a slideshow style thing with me showing some of it off. The videos are recorded. I have them on my computer. Again, don't have energy to edit them, so a lot of my videos, pretty much from 35 weeks onward, are going to be me having to come back, either once my son is born or if my energy improves in some way. But being that I have the preeclampsia, hypertension, I am not going to overdo it. So just stay tuned for those videos. I had a huge amount of outpour of support from a few different subscribers, and I want to shout you guys out, but I don't want to shout you out in this video. I want to do a proper video where I show the baby items that I got from my shower, and also the nursery reveal, which the nursery is so not together at this point. It is functional, but it's not together. It's not pretty. I've been working on a few different pieces, which again I will do another separate video, probably a small one. I had done some window treatments and a few other items that I'm going to be working on. Like literally I have wood stacked up in my living room and a whole bunch of other things that I have planned. So The little gentleman's room is still going to be in effect. I had actually got some material too that I scored big time on 2, I know that sounds obnoxious, but 2 bed sets that I'm going to be repurposing, and that will also be a separate video. So again, this video is just kind of updating you guys on everything I've been doing. Been out of breath quite a bit, but that happens at 35 weeks. Boy, does it. And I finally did get my stroller, which I scored on that too, which was $45 at a store called Once Upon a Child, I think it is. And the reason that I had to get a stroller so soon, I actually had another one that a friend gave me, but I actually am not even able to use it, and it needed a lot of parts to be replaced and whatnot. So unfortunately, what has brought me to this point is that I am being told from my physical therapist there is no way in hell that I can baby wear very long. My maximum weight limit is supposed to be for 10 pounds, so if my son comes out 10 pounds, 8 pounds, 7 pounds, that time period and window of me being able to wear him and walk around and deal with grocery shopping or doctor's appointments and all that fun stuff are going to be very minimal, which makes the whole situation more optimum that I go ahead and get myself a stroller that would be able to be lightweight, pulled out of the car lightweight, because I'm even being told not to remove the car seat from the car whatsoever and just pull them in and out. And so initially I had thought about getting like a Moses basket, which is just a wicker basket. It's kind of like a bassinet, but for an infant, you need them to be laying flat. But that was short-lived, because why spend $45 on that when I can buy a stroller, which worked out to be an infant stroller. I just got it at a secondhand baby's supply, and I'm so impressed and so excited, and can't wait to show you guys about that. So then it will be a future video too. Yesterday was not Thanksgiving, but the day before was the 25th, and I spent wonderful time with a family friend I've known for 15 years. It was pretty awesome. And there was another girl there that had been pregnant, or is pregnant, and is expecting a boy as well. And she's due 10 days before me. And just to compare the stories and to see us having the kicking and all the other fun stuff, I've got to say it's been a miracle, this whole entire pregnancy, even conceiving and all of that other fun stuff. Wasn't planned, but again, I had been feeling that it was going to happen for a long, long time. So as of last year on Thanksgiving, if some of you know, some of you don't know, my mom's birthday, she's passed away, but she's been gone 12 years, but my mother's birthday is December the 27th. I'm due the 28th, and last year on Thanksgiving Day, which was the 27th, I think, last year, I could be wrong about that, but I remember last year on Thanksgiving when I was living in California, I had almost a spiritual awakening where I kind of realized, you know, my mother had a lot of pressure from her family and from even my grandmother's spectrum of it all, understanding that, you know, when you have a child so close to Thanksgiving, it is a weird feeling. It is a weird realization of what are you thankful for. And yesterday, the day of Thanksgiving this year, 2015, you know, we were all supposed to go around the table and kind of say what we were thankful for. And, you know, that was the one thing I could say is, you know, that I have gotten this far in this labor, and, you know, I'm just now waiting to deliver. And so, it's pregnancy, I mean. So, being that I kind of had like this moment last year where I was like, wow, my mom had a lot of pressure put on her. You know, just like my grandmother did, her mother, before she delivered. I mean, Thanksgiving comes and you're thinking about what you're thankful for. And here I'm pregnant, due around almost the same time my mother was born, and that's just so surreal to me. So the spiritual aspects to this pregnancy and the emotional, roller coasters I went through, from relocating to making huge adjustments to the dissolving of the baby's father and all that fun stuff. It's been a real journey, I'll say that, and I'm sure in other videos I will get a little more in depth with all that. You might understand, you might not. I just am very honest here on this channel, and it is a chronicle of my life, so here is the aspects of what it is. I do believe a lot of these videos are going to be very important for my son one day. He can look back and actually get to know me onto the scales of who I was before he was here. So, it's been a journey, I'll say that. Knowing that last year I had like an awakening, a realization. My mother had a lot of pressure on her, and she was the firstborn, and there were 5 children in that family. And unfortunately, one of the siblings my mother had, it was stepbrother and sister, were twins. Not fraternal, obviously, but I guess it would be maternal. I don't know. Anyway, a girl and a boy. And one of my aunt, the girl, she had actually passed away from SIDS. And so, now I'm about to deliver a baby and dealing with all the proper things you need to get ready for, the bassinet and the bedding and all that fun stuff. And it has kind of brought back those feelings where it's like, wow, I'm actually afraid. I'm afraid in a lot of different ways. I have been trying to stay away from reading too much or seeing too much about pregnancy because I do have anxiety, and I think a lot of it is overkill, to be honest. Not just the items to buy, but reading and, seeing so much visually, kind of limiting myself to what's necessary. And only in the last couple of weeks have I been reminded about SIDS, and having the family member that I did who passed away. Obviously, I wasn't created at that point. It was like a good probably 50 years ago that my aunt had passed away. But my uncle, being he lost his twin sister, we always talked about it in the family. It was kind of one of those things, it's like not really anybody's fault. But now we're so educated today about what can prevent SIDS, it's still scary. And being a first-time mom, I will say I have definitely been trying to make the proper precautions, making sure I will be co-sleeping, but I will be co-sleeping with a bassinet, not exactly in the bed with my son. But I will be probably sharing quite a bit of videos in the future about things that I've tried to do to prevent that in particular, and other, if there's infections and things like that, if I can kind of share with you guys my chronicles as being a parent as well. So, not just my health. Let's see. Moving on. The movements, like I said, have been pretty intense. And now my ribs hurt quite frequently. And he has dropped, so boy, has he dropped. It's like, I haven't had any vomiting or anything like that, thankfully, in about a month and a half. Oh, that's a good thing. Yawning. Oh. But with the infection, it caused a lot of extra pain, dehydration, frustration. So basically, until I can provide further notice about anything with my gastro in general, non-related to my pregnancy, or until I can update you guys with a lot more videos. I do have quite a bit of videos that I have recorded and not actually published because they need to be edited. So just stay tuned for all that. And I'm amazed this is only 30 minutes long, but I do have another part of this video that got cut off earlier, so I'll be posting the two together. And hopefully you guys will be able to enjoy all the future videos that I'll be sharing. It's just been a long, very long journey, and looking forward to updating everybody once my son is here. I just unfortunately can't do what I wanted to do on this channel, which was to update a lot more frequently. It just didn't happen. It isn't going to happen. And being that I have preeclampsia, I just don't want to take any risk to my son or myself. So, I do welcome comments, and I do thank all of you individually, you know who you are, who have sent gifts for my son. If you still would like to send anything, there is a P.O. box listed below. I am pretty set on clothes, let me just say. At this point, I don't have many stuffed animals or toys or any of that. There's a few things left on my registry, but watery eyes. But you guys can go and check that out yourself. As I said, I even have a car seat that an amazing subscriber bought. Couldn't even believe that. Oh my God. And just the outpour of love and support has been totally unbelievable. I mean, I never, ever imagined. I mean, seriously, I was expecting cards and some handmade things. So, and I have actually not gotten many handmade things, which is totally fine too. I'm going to be making a lot of stuff. But, just to have the support and getting me ready for this baby and to be a mom, has just been unimaginable in the best ways. I feel so blessed by so many different people. Not just the subscribers, but my close friends, my family. There will be future videos where I do some vacation videos and share with you guys, pretty much I'm going to share my life as much as I can without subjecting my son directly with the camera. Because at this point, I'm not sure if I want to do that. I really want to make videos that will be private with me and him, which will definitely be for him. But his personality and the development that I'm going through, until I can resolve all the nastiness with the baby's daddy, I don't have the energy to put it all out there public. So you might see a reveal of what my son looks like, and you may see here and there pictures and updates about my son. And me as a parent, I will definitely do the best I can to showcase some decor things and craft things and all that fun stuff. But when it comes to actually showing my son every single day and vlogging, I just don't think it's going to happen that way. So, I do want to make that clear to everybody who might be like, well, why isn't she showing more videos once my son comes? I just don't know if I want to do that yet. I'm not going to make any final plans. But right now, I just don't want to do that. So, you'll probably get a reveal, but that's about it. And that's just because that's where I feel at this point. So, I don't want to lament too much longer. You guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. Comments are always welcomed. Suggestions about whatever I have discussed is also welcomed. If there's negativity, I don't usually allow it to be published, and so FYI on that. Can't wait to lose some weight. I am 160 pounds at this point, but that's all for the baby. It's just been nice to eat again for a little while, off and on. I really only have been able to eat since, like, October, which sucks. It's been a lot of nausea, a lot of vomiting, so to only have, like, basically 30 days of no nausea to the point that I'm vomiting has been great. But, yeah, lots more in the future. I have some serious heartburn right now, and I am pooped, let me just say. So, I'm going to end this video now. You guys have a great day. Thanks for watching if you got this far. And subscribe if you're new, definitely. And, hiccups. I will talk to you all later. Bye.